Researchers fed a century's worth of scientific papers on aging to AI and to see what insights could be gleaned across the totality of the work. And the results provide a fascinating look at where our efforts have gravitated towards and where we're missing out. I'm going to break it down for you. Hi, I'm Ryan Flynn. I publish the AI RX newsletter on how AI is changing healthcare. And this study really caught my attention. So researchers use natural language processing, basically software that can read and compare massive amounts of text, to read nearly 500,000 scientific papers on aging published as far back as 1925. Then they mapped out the entire field and how it's evolved over time. One pattern jumped out immediately. Aging research has become heavily dominated by brain-related diseases, especially Alzheimer's, which isn't really that surprising. The AI identified multiple dense clusters of research centered on the brain, while other organ systems barely showed up. Aging of the gut, lungs, or even the reproductive system received very little attention in comparison. Then there's a disconnect that's harder to see without looking with a tool like this. The papers that study aging at the cellular level, things like how cells stop dividing or how DNA gets regulated over time, sit in different corners of the research world, and papers focus on patients and clinical care. The AI showed that these two groups rarely cite each other. This means that discoveries about how aging works in the lab often don't make it into the kinds of studies that shape real-world treatments. Another finding is more subtle. Even though the total number of aging papers keeps growing, the range of ideas is shrinking. Researchers are publishing more, but they're clustering around the same familiar concepts instead of exploring new ones. And the AI surfaced missed connections as well. For example, links between cellular sentience, meaning worn-out cells that build up in our systems, and mitochondria, or the cell's energy factories, or between oxidative stress and epigenetics, the chemical switches that turn genes on and off. These are core aging processes, but they've often studied in isolation. So this is the kind of work AI is actually really good at, stepping back, scanning decades of data, research across an entire field, and spotting patterns that are almost invisible if you're working inside one narrow slice of the field every day. Now, no single researcher could have read 500,000 studies and see where attention has piled up, where it landed, or which ideas stayed siloed. The question now is whether anything will actually become of this. Seeing the blind spots is one thing, changing how research gets funded, published, and connected with is another. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments.